and welcome to Synchronicity. I'm your host, Marie Benard, and today we're joined by Jeanie Cisco-Meth. She's the author of Bully-Proofing You, and she's here today to talk about her latest book, Taming the Bully Between Your Ears. And I'm sure we all have that bully to one degree or another. Mine's pretty bad. So I'll just tell you a little bit about Jeanie. When Jeanie was a young girl, everyone knew she was different. When she got into school, the labeling began. She had so many learning disabilities and physical differences, she stood out. She had dyslexia. She couldn't talk very well. She was legally blind. By the 8th grade, she was 6 feet tall. She was a cancer survivor, and the list goes on. This is a walking target, Jeanie. I'm sorry, but she was
about a bullseye, right?
And then to top it all off, she was told she would never amount to much. She remembers sitting in the classroom with her parents and her teachers, listening to the discussion about her dismal future. Jeanie and her parents had different ideas, thankfully. Delbert and Martha, Jeanie's parents, did not spend so much time, money, and emotional stress battling childhood cancer with her just to give up now. They knew she would find a way because she's amazing. When Jeanie got into high school, she decided she was not going to let someone else tell her how her future goes. And I wish I had that strength in high school. She sought out the tools that helped her graduate high school, and then she went on to college. She was the first in her family to graduate from a 4-year university, and she used her learning patterns to help others become successful as well. She went on to become a high school teacher and help many students find their true path in life. And she is now here to talk about her books. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about bully-proofing you, but we're really here to talk about taming the bully between your ears. So welcome back to the show, Jeanie. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again. Absolutely love interacting with you. You're so much fun.
Thanks, Jeanie. So tell it, I kind of gave, this was on your website, Jeanie Cisco-Meth, if you want to check her out. That's quite a lot of information I just shared, but is there anything else? Growing up, oh my gosh, like I was just talking with a girl about this the other day, how when she was young, and I think most of us have probably experienced this. When she was young, she was like, oh, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, whatever. And now she looks back on those pictures, she's like, oh my God, I was gorgeous, right? So we all have our struggles and our challenges, but you were really kind of behind the pack as far as like where you were starting with the learning disabilities and being so tall. And so just tell us a little bit about how you coped with that. Thankfully, you had supportive parents who believed in you.
Yes, absolutely. And it's funny that you bring up, I used to think I was really fat, because there's a chapter in my new book, Taming the Bully Between Your Ears, about how I had to learn to love myself. Because then I remember, I was in my mid to late 40s, and I had the thought, man, I wish I had my 20-year-old body back. And I hear this voice in my head, why? You didn't like me then either.
Aww.
And I was like, wow, that's true. I didn't. I complained all the time, and now I want it back, and I didn't appreciate it. And so that was the start of, hey, I love my body. I love my body. I'm 52 years old now. Could it be better? Absolutely. But I love it. I absolutely love my body. I work out. I eat somewhat healthy. Last night was Halloween. I got to admit, I got a sweet tooth.
Those tiny candies are really dangerous.
And so, but I love my body. I love all the experiences that it can give me. But it took a shift in my perspective of me. That's what it's about, that voice that's inside your head that's constantly cutting you down. Fire them. Get rid of them. Don't let them be there anymore.
So how the hell do we do that?
Oh my gosh. So when I was younger, I did not have the ability to do that. All I had was grit and determination. And I was like, you don't decide. I decide. And that really fueled me a long ways. However, those voices continued into high school, into college, even into my personal life. And when I was a high school teacher, I started realizing I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that's, just like you were saying your friend the other day, we all have that voice in our head that tries to stop us. And the biggest thing, first of all, is awareness. First of all, you've got to be aware of it. When we do our presentations, I'll go into a business or I'll go into a college and I'll say, we're going to talk about the little voice in your head. And they're like, what little voice? Yeah, that little voice. Most people aren't even aware of it. And they've done studies to find out how many thoughts do we have in a day. We have roughly 40 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. 80% of them are negative. 80% of them. And the thing is when I ask somebody, they're like, oh, I don't say negative things. I'm like, really? Carry this book around with you. I'll give them a little notebook. I'll say, carry this around, and every 30 minutes, write down what you just said to yourself. And they'll come back and go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Yeah. So the first law is awareness. Become aware of that negative little voice first, and then let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it.
Wow. That is, yeah. I didn't realize that people weren't aware that they had an inner voice, because we just all, everyone has that running commentary, right? Like, oh, and I notice it as I'm walking down the street. I'm sure a lot of it's unconscious, but a lot of the time I'll notice, like, oh, that purse is pretty. Oh gosh, that person's, like just some of the things I think are like horrible. And I'm like, why did I think that awful thing about that poor unattractive person? Like, they haven't done anything to me, you know? And and I think that's one of the reasons. I don't know how it is for you and other people, but I know that I judge myself really harshly, and then it tends to make me judge others more harshly.
Right. You will say things to yourself that you would never think of saying to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
We have an activity that we do that just points that out so beautifully. But if you wouldn't say it to someone else, why are you saying it to yourself? And that running commentary is exactly what we're talking about. People don't realize how damaging it is. They think, oh, no big deal. It's horribly damaging. And if I'm judgmental of myself, I'm absolutely judgmental of others. Now, some people say, well, you've got to stop judging. No, you will never stop judging. That's a built-in, intrinsic thing that we do. It's part of our survival. So, you think about, you're walking down the street, you see a person, like, oh my goodness, you're constantly judging because you're looking for dangers.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at people, and so I need to keep that skill. I need to be able to go, hey, am I safe? Is it okay? Do I need to run away? Do I need to fight? Or am I okay? So that part you'll never get rid of. The question is, what do you do with the information that comes in? You see somebody, you go, oh my gosh, that person's ugly. Okay, what do you do with that information?
Okay, can you tell us?
Yeah, you say hi. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I go.
Interact with them. And you go, you don't go, whoa, you're ugly, you poor thing.
No.
You just say, hey, how you doing today? My name's Jeanie, or, use your name, please don't use my name. That would be weird.
I'll only do that if I'm going to say the negative thing. I'll be like,
that's okay.
I'm Jeanie, you're hideous.
And just talk to them. We are so isolated in our mind and in our life. You can absolutely go through life now without ever talking to another person.
Yeah.
And because typically we have in our mind people equal pain, we don't want to talk to people. Hurt people hurt people. And so if we can start healing that pain, healed people can heal people. Think about a day when you're not feeling good and you're grumpy. You don't want to interact with people. And every person you interact with, you may be grumpy towards. But when you feel loved and you feel supported and you feel grateful, oh my gosh, people are great. I want to talk to people.
I love that. I just had to write that down. Healed people heal people. Oh, yeah.
So let's start the healing.
So what if you don't have time to talk to them? Because this is just like if you're just passing by on the street or whatever. I just noticed these thoughts, and some of them are positive, like, oh, cute shoes. Right. And sometimes I'll actually say those things out loud, and it feels a little bit nerve-wracking, but everybody likes a compliment on, they've put the effort and money into putting themselves together, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And if you don't have time to engage in a conversation, just smile and eye contact.
Okay.
Smile and eye contact. But so often we have more time than we think. And my motto is to every day make the world a little bit better. Whether that's picking up trash or returning cards to the card corral, at the shopping mall, or making eye contact and talking to someone, it makes a huge difference. Now, luckily, I've been doing it long enough and I'm enough of a presence now that people can get back to me. And they're like, wow, the other day I met you in the street and you smiled at me and it meant the world to me.
Oh.
Or, when you're at the hotel or you're in the bathroom and the maid's in there cleaning up, thank her. Say, wow, thank you so much for cleaning. Because I don't have to do it. I say that all the time because I don't like cleaning.
Me neither.
Right? Right? So just take that split second and say, hey, I love your shoes. Those are so cute. Or cute. There's always something that you can find that is positive. But you got to find it in yourself first.
So start wearing cuter shoes.
Start believing that your shoes are cute.
Okay.
Put on something every day that makes you feel cute. So, do you see my earrings?
I
These are
do.
brand new earrings. Aren't they cute?
They are cute. I can
so
only see the one, but
Oh yeah, because the other one's over here. But they're so cute. I put them on because they're cute. And so find something. I know. I love your Hello Kitty. It's so cute. So when you get dressed in the morning, look in the mirror and say at least one thing about yourself that you like. Because then as you go out into public, you can see other people and what they, and what you like about them as well.
Oh, wow. I'm writing that down. Thank you. So, Jeanie, now I notice when I have these negative thoughts about, especially when it's about other people who I don't even know, then I notice the thought, oh, that person. And then I think, I'm upset with myself for thinking that thought. Right? Because it's not a nice thought. That person didn't do anything to me.
Because you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Because you're so mean and so horrible. And then guess what? You spiral down. And you're like, crash and burn. Stop it.
Okay.
Just stop it. So that's what I mean. When you recognize that comment, well, that person's a jerk or whatever, then you say, okay, what did I learn from that experience? So I had a person, I get negative comments. It happens, and it happens to everybody. You get negative comments. And I had a person, very, very negative person, just really attacking me. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. And they were like, what? And I realized that it goes back to my first book, Bully Proofing You. It's all about how I respond. It's not about what people say. It's about how I respond. So if somebody is attacking me, I can, in that moment, decide to attack back or decide to be relaxed and just say, okay. See, when emotion is high, intelligence is low. And so if I allow their words to get me emotional and frustrated and upset, my intelligence is going to drop. But if I can stay calm, then it's okay. And so this person's yelling at me and everything, and in my mind, well, out loud, I say, thank you. And then the rest of the sentence was, for showing me what an angry, hurt person looks like, because I never want to be like you. I didn't say that part, but the outward was, thank you. And the person was like, what? And I said, thank you for sharing your opinion with me. I appreciate it. And it totally diffused the situation. And they were like, oh, well, you're welcome. I said, I'll take it into advisement and make a decision. So it's not about what people say. It's about how you react to what people say. So it's okay to have a negative thought. It's what do you do with it?
Thanks, Jeanie. I work with some very high needs folks who, if I'm not able to go pick up a coffee for them, I might get called a B word or whatever. Like it's very, and it's challenging because I know, I mean, there's part of it that they can control, but there's a good chunk of it. There's a good chunk of it that they can't because of cognitive challenges and trauma and things like that. And it's hard to know, like I usually just walk away and I'll say something like, if you're going to speak to me like that, I just can't help you. But is there a better way?
I'm so glad you asked. And thank you for giving me the background too. I truly believe that people need to be trained how to treat us.
Mm-hmm.
And so if somebody treats me with disrespect, it's my responsibility to inform them that, hey, you know what? I don't accept that. I don't accept that. And so if it's a person, like you're saying, that has mental diminishment or whatever, and they're unable to, it's still okay to walk away. It's still okay to say, I'm sorry. I don't accept that kind of behavior. Our house is a swear-free house. Now, I had to go first because I was in the Army, and I worked at an alternative high. So every other word's a swear word. And it didn't bother me. Then I had a mentor explain it to me in a very beautiful way, and I decided to go swear-free. And so I came home and I said, okay, we're going to institute a swear jar. Well, I put more money in that swear jar than anybody. In fact, my daughter the other day goes, can we have a swear jar again? Because we went to the movies more often. And I'm like, no, because I don't swear anymore. But it was a decision that I made. This is a swear-free home. Now, once in a while, my son will slip, and he immediately says, Mom, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm like, that's okay. So I had to train my family and myself how not to swear. So if you have people that are swearing at you or being grumpy at you or not, you're not at someone's beck and call. So I have personal mentoring clients, and I let them know that, hey, this is the cost. And if you want me to be at your beck and call, that's $14 million. I'm not at your beck and call. And so when somebody's getting mad at you because you don't go run, get them a cup of coffee, there's an issue there. And that's wrong. And so help them be grateful for things. Because when I come from a space of gratitude, life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Life is good. But when I come from a space of entitlement or pain or demanding, life sucks.
Yeah.
And then that flows out. So I was saying, hurt people hurt people. And so when somebody says, why didn't you get me my cup? And calls your name, they say, hey, what are 3 things you're grateful for right now?
Ooh,
well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, what are you grateful for? And you'll see them shift. If they'll play with you, you'll see them shift. If they won't play with you, then you just say, hey, something to consider. Bye.
I like that. And that's kind of an interrupt in their learned behavior because this is a habit. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've heard of NLP.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely NLP. When people are bullying or reacting in that way, they are absolutely reacting. It's reactive. It's habitual. It's something that they've done over and over and over again, which means they're in their reptilian brain, their brainstem. They're not thinking. So you need to bring them into their thinking brain to get them to move out of that behavior. And so asking a question, hey, what are you grateful for? What's your favorite color? What is your favorite meal? Something like that moves them from that habitual space into a thinking space. And as humans, we have a built-in safety mechanism that does not allow us to hurt other humans. We can hurt objects, but we cannot hurt humans.
So basically ask any kind of question. Probably a good idea to have a few sort of in your back pocket. And I'm going to totally bring that to work because it is, yeah. We'll see how that goes. I mean, practicing it would be fun.
Do a training.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Well, I'll ask my boss. Yeah.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a plan. So in the third part of my first book, I talk about planned responses. Because again, when emotion is high, intelligence is low. So if I can come up with those planned responses before I'm in that situation, I'm much more likely to use them. So it walks you through step by step how to get better at being able to think and still have some of that emotion come up. It also helps you lay out those planned responses. How do I create a planned response? Well, when it's calm and quiet, like right now, you come up with some questions. And so, as a gift, if this is okay, as a gift to your listeners, if they go to bullyproofingyoubook.com, they can download a digital copy of my book absolutely free.
Wow, yay.
Yeah, so go in there, read it. The first part's all about personal value, loving yourself, respecting yourself. The second part is why people bully. And then the third part is all about planning responses, how to deal with those negative situations. And it walks you through it step by step.
Bullyproofingyou.com.
Yeah,
Or is it book?
bullyproofingyoubook.com. Yeah, that's where if you go to bullyproofingyou.com, it's going to give you some samples. There's going to be an audio chapter on there that I read and a few other things. But Bullyproofing You book will get you to the free download for your listeners.
Cool. I'm going to put that, as we're posting this on YouTube, I'm going to put that link under the video.
Awesome.
Download.
And then have them mention you. Say, hey, mention me.
Yeah.
And then, and then we'll give them a little extra something if they want.
Yay. Yeah. Tell Jeanie you heard about it from me, from Marie. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And send her a nice compliment about her earrings.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So we kind of been talking a little bit about Bullyproofing You, which is your previous book. So can you tell us a little bit more about Taming the Bully Between Your Ears? I haven't seen it yet because it's not quite out yet. You can pre-order.
Bullyproofing You I wrote in a week because I had been teaching it. It was a program I developed as a high school teacher. Taming the Bully Between Your Ears is 2 years in the making now.
Wow.
And we've just gone through our 4th edit, and it is my personal stories about how I learned to tame my bullies so I could write my first book. When you introduced me, you talked about all those learning disabilities, all those disadvantages. Each one of those actually became a tool that I could use to help for other people. So that's what Taming the Bully is all about. It is chock full of Jeanieisms and Jeanie struggles, and it was tough. It was quite a journey for me to go back to some of the, to be in that space again and move through it, and a lot of healing for me. And as we're getting some of those initial reports back for others as well. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people heal.
Awesome.
More healed people.
Oh my gosh, we so do. We so do. Yes. I'm just sitting with that, needing more healed people. And I find, I keep bringing it back to my work because it's just so stressful that's like always what I'm thinking about. But then I know not everybody has that high level of stress in their work, so I don't want to bore other people.
You know what, though? There's a lot of stress in the workplace.
Yeah.
That's why we go to corporates and businesses now, because of that. And the volatility that we're seeing in the news on a daily basis shows us how much stress there is. And I think of it as, think of a soda bottle, right? You take a soda bottle and you shake it up. Are you going to open it? No, because it's going to make a mess, right? People are the same way. If I don't manage my emotions and then you put one more drop on me, I'm going to explode all over.
Yeah.
I'm either going to explode out or I'm going to implode. Suicide in the last few years has gone up over 400%. 400%. We are losing people on a daily basis.
And those are the people, I mean, I'm sure it's not true for everybody, but those are the people who probably care the most, right? Because they take it on.
Yep.
They're not projecting it outward to other people so much. They're imploding. Because I've had those thoughts too. And it's like, if I wasn't here to bring my light to the world, every feeling and caring person we lose to suicide makes the world a little dimmer.
Right. right? And it has to stop.
Yeah.
It has to stop. That's why I was willing to offer my life up, so to speak, and say, hey, here's all my junk. Here's all the stuff I went through. Learn from it. Make your life better. Here's the tools that now go along with that so that you can heal. Because you're needed in this time and space. Desperately needed in this time and space.
So, Jeanie, can we talk a little bit more about offering your life up? Because that seems like that would be a feeling of purpose every day, you know? So, can you tell us how that kind of came to be?
Um, it had, there are, like I said, there's some really difficult situations in that book. Difficult situations. And at first, I wasn't sure. Now, my first book, I wrote all on my own. I did have an editor, and we wrote it through CreateSpace. They edited it and made it available. It was all self-published. This book, I've had a writing author. She has like 4 or 5 New York Times bestsellers. She's this incredible, incredible lady, and she's helped me with it. And she's like, Jeanie, you need to tell that story. I'm like, but she's like, I invite you. She said, just write it and then decide. And so there's some not so difficult situations that everybody deals with, you know. There's the being called names. There's the I don't like myself. There's the I'm so stupid stuff. But then there's also I was sexually abused when I was younger, and I have never spoken about it on air, in a video, anywhere except in my book. And so your listeners are the first
Wow. Thank
to
you for
hear
sharing
that.
that with
And
us.
so that's in the book. That's in the book. And as I started, I wrote through it, and then I started doing some research. The numbers of people who are affected, not just women, but men, are astounding.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a story in there about my son that ripped my heart out. Ripped my heart out. And it's tough, but it's needed because so many people are affected by it. And so when I say offering my life up, I took all my junk and said, hey, here you go. This is how I healed from it. Because it's not about what happened to me, it's about what I did with what happened to me. And there are so many people that use any type of situation as an excuse to not step up and shine their light the brightest. That there are days, I am not saying I'm perfect. Please don't, I'm not saying that, because I have icky days too. But for the most part, I'm able to look at things and go, Lord, what's the lesson I need from here? And I talk about gold nuggets, because you think of your life, and there's hills and there's valleys, because we can't always be on the mountaintop. We don't grow when we're on the mountaintop. We grow when we're climbing up. There's also those disappointing in the valley depths, depression areas. And guess what? That's where the gold nuggets are found. If you think about where you find gold nuggets for real, it's in the stream that comes down off of the mountain and carries those nuggets. And if I look at my past life, the difficult times, the icky parts, there is a lesson in there that I can extract and learn from. And it increases and improves my life. And so many people just want to show the good. You look on social media, man, having a great day, everything's wonderful. And then you're in your icky day in your pajamas going, life sucks. And you start going, well, why can't my life be like theirs? Guess what? Their life isn't like that all day either. Their life sucks too. And it's in those moments of suck, it's in those moments of depression where the gold nuggets are found. And so when I went back and looked at the molestation that happened to me when I was younger, I realized there were gold boulders in there. But until I could start healing, and until I could look at it with different eyes, it was just pain and yuck and dirt. But now I've dug through the yuck, I've dug through the dirt, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh my gosh, look at this gold boulder that you can use for your life to make your life better. That's what the book's about.
Wow. I want to know what the Boulder is. Is that going to give away too much of the book, though?
The Boulder was looking at it through the gentleman's eyes. And I remember thinking, wow, what kind of a relationship was he in to turn to a young girl? What did he think about himself to turn to a young girl? And I started looking at the pain and hurt, because I know hurt people hurt people. And when I went back with those eyes, hurt people, how was he hurting? How much pain was he in to do that to someone else?
And I just want to make clear, because I bet that this could be triggering for a lot of people. This is not validating what he
Right.
did or
No,
saying,
not in
oh, well,
any way.
he screwed up, so it's okay.
Right.
No.
That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, in fact, he's dead. And there's a story in there about when I'm standing at his gravesite with my dad. That was a whole nother issue. But it's when I say you're forgiven to somebody, that does not excuse them from their behavior. What it does is it allows me to move past that experience. Up until the moment that I didn't see it through his eyes, it was affecting me. I couldn't sleep well. It was affecting my relationships. Every time my husband would touch me in a certain way, I would freak out because it triggered me.
Mm-hmm.
But once I looked at who he had to be to do what he did, it gave me empathy for him. And I was able to forgive him and move on. And ever since I was able to forgive him and move on, my life has been healed. I didn't forgive this gentleman for him. I forgave him for me, so that I could be whole, so that I could heal at a deeper level, so that it didn't take up energy and time and stress anymore. What he did was absolutely unexcusable. What he did was absolutely wrong. And I understand why he did it. That's why I can say, you're forgiven. And I can move on.
Thanks, Jeanie. Can I ask how long, because I know that there are part of the healing process is feeling that anger, and I think that a lot of trauma survivors of abuse and trauma are kind of told by people, oh, just forgive so you can heal. But that there's a process of that.
Right.
It's not you don't just jump to healing immediately. I mean, sometimes people don't even remember these things that have happened to them, and then they come into adulthood and start to have things come up and realize what they've, their brains have shut down to protect themselves,
Right.
That's not the moment to jump to forgiveness.
No. So we have emotions for a reason. And those emotions are there to guide and lead us and help us heal. And so I liken emotions to a rainbow. If you are stuffing emotions and not feeling them, your rainbow has one, maybe two colors. And it's usually red, which represents anger, right? And then maybe a little bit of purple in there because you can kind of get off of the black, or, a little bit of happiness. But when I feel all of my emotions, I see the entire rainbow, and each one of them helps us with something. Pain is there to show me something's wrong. Feel it. And when I started getting in touch with my emotions, thank you, Lawrence, my husband, for helping me learn that it was okay to cry. Thank you, Lawrence, for teaching me how to be in touch with my emotions, all of my emotions, not just some. One of the biggest disservices that we're doing right now, I believe, in our system, well, there's so many, but one of them, right? I mean, we can spend a whole other hour just on that.
Yep.
But one of the disservices is telling people, just focus on the happy, just think positive. No, you've got to go through the gambit. And so if you've had pain, sit in that pain for a while. Feel it. We numb ourselves so much with social media, with videos, with alcohol, with drugs, with sugar. I have a sweet tooth.
Yep.
Sometimes I use it to numb. And sometimes I use it because I like chocolate. The neat thing is that I now know the difference. For a long time, I did not know that I used it to numb the pain. So if I learn how to deal with that emotion and move through that emotion, as I learn to feel pain, my joy level goes up tenfold. And so the way you deal with that is you grab a piece of paper. I'm going to show my paper with my Snoopy
Oh,
on it
fancy.
because we love Snoopy dance, right? So you grab a piece of paper and you divide it down the middle. So like this. And then on the left side, you write all the negative. And usually I do these in different colors. And you write, I feel because. And you write all the negative. So I don't know if you can see that, but you write and it's backwards. I feel because. And then you just write all your negative down. I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm pissed off, I'm embarrassed, I'm upset, I feel violated, whatever. I feel because. And then on the right-hand side, you write all the positive. I feel happy, joyful, exuberant. I feel like I get to celebrate. I feel loved. I feel supported. Again, all of that, and you write because. So you have on the left side all the things you want to leave behind, right? Left, leave. Right is all the positive. I want right now to move into the positive. I want to be right with myself. So that's kind of how I define it. Then I take this piece of paper and I tear it in half. I keep the positive and I burn the negative. My preferred is burn. I like to go out on my back porch, torch the sucker. Now you can also shred it. You can tear it up into little tiny pieces, and all the time you're going, I'm getting rid of this. I'm letting it go. It's gone, and then it's gone. The problem is too many people just keep stuffing the negative, the pain, the hurt, the yuck, and then they explode, just like that soda bottle. But if I get it out of my head and out of my heart and onto paper and then shred it or burn it or get rid of it, then I'm like a bottle of water. No matter how much you shake a bottle of water, you can open it right after, and there's no mess.
Oh, I love that. Thanks, Jeanie. So that
Yes.
brings up, thank you for sharing that exercise with us. Um, I find that when I start talking, like I'll vent about work or I'll vent about whatever's going on negative. And then it's nice to be heard and have my feelings validated. But I find that once I start talking about it, it's like, and then I'm really like laser focused on the negative. So is there something about this exercise that's different than not just getting it out?
Yeah, because you put the positive back in after.
Okay.
Most people, so what happens is I'm negative, I'm upset, I'm grumpy, and I talk to someone else. I now just spewed onto them.
Yep.
Right? So I feel better because I took all my negative and dumped it on them. So now they are extra exploding. They may have been handling their own junk, and then all of a sudden you just dumped all your junk on them. Now they're ready to explode. So by doing it on paper instead of people, I don't hurt anybody else. I don't dump my emotions on them and overcharge them, but I'm still getting it out. And so I write it all down and then I burn it and I get rid of it. And then now that I've created space, I put the positive back in. So if you don't like to write, that's okay. Go for a walk, right? Get up out of your little cubicle, your little, space at work or whatever, and go for a walk. And the way you're walking, you're just gonna, I'm grumpy, I'm upset. You just got off the phone with a customer and they were yelling and screaming at you. When you're done, hang up the phone and then go get rid of that. Go for a walk. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that guy was such an idiot. He said horrible things to me. Whoa, just get it all out. Then take 4 deep breaths. Turn around and walk back to your office, and the whole way back, it's gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for a job that allows me to have the house I have, or the car I have, or put food on the table, or clothes on my body. So I'm not homeless. So what happens is so many people dump on another person, they feel better, but they don't replace it with positive. So more negative comes in because nature abhors a vacuum. So if I create a space by getting rid of the negative, I want to fill it with positive. And by the time you get back to your desk, you're good. You're golden. And then you can take another phone call and the guy's, and you're like, oh, it's okay. It's cool. But if all you do is take negative after negative after negative, or somebody comes into your cubicle and says, I can't believe, and all you do is negative all day, you're going to explode.
Or implode. Yeah.
Explode or implode. And we have way too much of that going on. Way too much of that going on.
So thanks for that, Jeanie. We're speaking with Jeanie Cisco-Meth. She's the author of Bullyproofing You, and her latest book is Taming the Bully Between Your Ears. If you want to get a free copy, free digital copy of Bullyproofing You, you can go to bullyproofingyoubook.com, and you can pre-order Taming the Bully Between Your Ears. Where's the best place to pre-order that?
So my website, JeanieCisco-Meth.com. And you need to know we're still about a year away before production. We're going to a publisher and they are about a year out. So once we secure a publisher, we're currently looking for an agent. And so once we secure a publisher, then it'll be about a year. So that's why the price is so low. It's because you're going to have to wait for a while. But I want to say thank you. If you do decide to go pre-purchase, thank you. Thank you for your belief in me. Thank you for looking to it. And I promise you it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. We're getting the feedback that we're getting right now is even better than I had hoped for.
Oh,
and that's what I want.
That's
exciting.
It to
change lives.
Thanks, Jeanie. I didn't realize it was so far away. I mean, I reached out to you because I was thinking about you one day. I was like, I wonder how Jeanie's doing. And I looked on your website and saw you had a new book coming out. And so then I was like, oh, you got to come back on the show and talk about your new book. So,
I was going to self-publish. Mm-hmm. And then I was speaking with my writing coach, as I was telling you about, and she's like, no, Jeanie, this needs to go to a publisher, because it will reach more people. And so that's why it's so far out, is if I was going to self-publish it, it would be ready probably in a couple of weeks. But we're not. I'm trusting her. I'm believing in her, and we're going to go for a publisher. So I didn't understand the ins and outs of all of that. But now that I do, I agree with her. This book needs to be heard on a large scale, not because it's me, but because of the message and the people that it can help. And so we're going for a publisher. So
cool. So if you know any great publishers, send them the link to this interview.
Yes,
maybe.
Please.
Yeah,
please do. Because I've talked to a couple of agents. We have not decided yet on an agent, but we're definitely looking for a large publisher. So if you have connections, bring them on. Bring them on. Thank you so much, for helping me get that word out and get that connection, and for believing in me. Thank you.
Yay. Thanks, Jeanie. I think you're awesome. I want to say that before I go back into the question that I had. So back to the walk. So you gave us the exercise of the paper. If you're not a writer, go for a walk and do it. And I think I like that too, even if you are a writer, because getting up, moving your body, getting fresh air, seeing other people. So how does that go down? Are you saying it out loud and maybe put in your headphones so it looks like you're talking to a person on the phone?
So that's the hard part. That's why doing it out, because it's difficult to find a place where there's no other people. It's difficult. But if you have that ability, because you don't want to do it where anybody's around, because they're going to wonder, they're going to worry, you're going to hold back, you're not going to totally get it out. And so that's why doing the walk can be difficult sometimes. But if you have space, I live right here by American Fork Canyon. I love to go up American Fork Canyon and just download once in a while. So you can go into the bathroom and yell at the toilet. I've done that before. When you're in that work environment and you can't get away, go into the bathroom and yell at the toilet. And if your whole corporation is doing it, they know what's going on. So it's okay. And so that's part of what bringing me in does. It puts everybody on the same page. So you walk into the bathroom and somebody's yelling and screaming in the toilet, they're getting rid of junk. Let them do it. It's okay. And then you flush the toilet and you leave, because then you just imagine all that junk going right where it needs to go, right down the toilet. So, and then you walk out and you take your deep breaths and you're like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for giving me an outlet to get rid of this junk. And then as you walk back to your desk, you say, hey, thank you, Sally, for being here and answering the phone. Hey, thank you, Joe, for all the hard work you do, for doing the mail and, making copies and yeah.
Oh, I like that. And I was thinking, at my work, we have, I might not always have access to it, but there's a gym downstairs. If there's no one in there, going and running on the treadmill,
Yep.
and being like, you, blah, 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 while you're running and getting out that adrenaline could be helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's healing in movement, because our memories are stored in our body. And so if I can move my body, I can get rid of that yuck. Absolutely. Great, great space. I'm glad you have a gym at your work. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's actually a DBT skill. I think it's called TIP skills. There's temperature, intense exercise, and what is the P? Anyway, so one of them is like splashing your face with cold water to trigger the dive reflex, because that resets your nervous system.
Oh, yeah.
And then the intense exercise also does the same thing, because when we have, I was just in a meeting about a critical incident debriefing, and they were talking about what happens to our bodies when there's this Goldilocks zone where we have the normal stress and up and down of our lives. But when we go outside of that, because we've had, some kind of close call, or really, an assault, or witness something really bad, our adrenaline goes really high. That's when our brains go into the fight or flight. And if we don't get that adrenaline out, it stays there, right? It's doing damage. So that intense exercise can kind of get the adrenaline out and help us reset our system. And then I think the combination of doing the intense exercise and the venting out and refilling with positive emotions. Yeah. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So physical ailments, physical pain or injury is healed with time. Emotional is not. You've got to do something to heal it. So why not do a write and burn? Or why not do a download reload? That's what I call it. I walk away, I download, and then I reload on the way back. Or go to the gym, download, reload. Get rid of the yuck, put in the positive. Life changes.
Thank you. The P is in TIP is progressive muscle relaxation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where you get really, really tense and then you relax it.
Yeah.
You contract it as much as possible, and then you relax.
Yeah, and it's each individual, like you start at your feet and you work your way up. Yeah, I think that helps it's kind of a mindfulness exercise too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really looking forward to reading Taming the Bully Between Your Ears when it eventually comes out, and when you find a publisher. I know you will. And again, if you want to get a copy of Bullyproofing You for free, you can go to bullyproofingyoubook.com. If people want a paper version, can they buy it?
Yeah, on the same site, yeah. And if you purchase it through there, I'll autograph it for you. If you let me know that I'm resent you, I'll put a special note in that as well. It's an entire home study course. And so it's got videos, it's got a workbook, it's got all kinds of stuff. And you can choose the level at which you want to play. If you just want the digital download, awesome. Use it. If you want the videos, if you want a workbook for your children to go through or you to go through, it's all there encapsulated at bullyproofingyoubook.com.
Awesome. Well, we just have a few minutes left in the show. We're speaking with Jeanie Cisco-Meth. She's the author of Bully Proofing You and her latest book coming out one day in the near future, Taming the Bully Between Your Ears. What do you want to focus on for the last few minutes?
I want to focus on remember that hurt people hurt people. So if somebody says something to you, remember they're in pain and maybe reach out. The other thing I want to focus on is healed people heal people. So if you're in pain, do something to heal that pain so you don't keep passing it on. And I remember my son, he was just little, I think probably about the third grade. He got in trouble. He was coming home from school late and another kid made fun of him. And he came home and he kicked the cat.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, Max, what's going on? And he's like, woo, woo. And so in that moment, I was able to teach him that hurt people hurt people. I said, you got held after school, right? Yeah, I was stupid. Okay, so he was walking home at the same time you did. Do you think he got held back in school too? Well, maybe. And so do you think by him yelling at you, it was kind of his version of kicking the cat? Well, maybe. And so in that moment, I was able to help him see what he was doing. And then he felt bad. He felt bad. And so at a very, very tender age, my son was taught a very, very valuable lesson that so many people have not been taught. People hurt, and so they hurt other things, whether it be pets or people. It doesn't matter which one. Sometimes in our society, we think hurting pets is worse than hurting people. It's not. They're both atrocious.
Mm-hmm. Or they hurt themselves.
Or they hurt themselves. We've got to stop the pain. We've got to stop the pain.
And that just brought up the thought, like the sugar and the alcohol and the drugs, and those are all hurting ourselves too. And we're doing it at the same as hurting someone else, lashing out, hitting someone or something. We're doing that as a way to get the feelings out or to numb the feelings or to feel better. Right? So we're either hurting someone else to feel better or we're hurting ourselves in an attempt to feel better.
Yeah. We need to stop that. We need to actually start healing instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it. Let's heal it. Let's pull off the Band-Aid and look at it and go, oh my gosh, you've got an infection that's going to kill you if we don't take care of it. Let's put some salve on it. Let's be gentle with it. Let's expose this and get it healed instead of letting it continue to fester.
So Jeanie, with the, what was the writing exercise you called again? The negative and the positive?
I call it write and burn.
Write and
you
burn.
Write it down and then you burn the negative.
So with the write and burn, that can be for like immediate stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So what do we do if we have, and we all do, we all have years of trauma. We have generations of trauma. Being alive on this planet is hard, no matter what yes. species you are, right? Yes. We've had a lot to do a lot of nasty stuff to survive. So there's, even if you've had a good life, there's still the generations of trauma that have come before us. So do we use this write and burn for all of that, or is it more like an immediate thing that has happened?
I do both. So when I'm immediately triggered, grab a piece of paper, take care of it. Then I have scheduled time where I deal with past pain. And I have a playlist on my phone and I'll play my sad playlist and I'll write, I feel sad because, and I'll listen to those songs and I'll cry and I'll write out whatever comes to mind. And then I play my gratitude playlist and I write out, I feel grateful because. So now I've progressed past the paper and I have journals. I have a negative journal that's just a spiral bound. It's black. I mean, you can get them at Walmart for 25 cents before school starts, and the pages tear out really easy. And I just write in that. And so I have scheduled time where I purposefully deal with those emotions, past emotions. And then I reload the positive, and that I call my color journal. It's a yellow or it's leather bound. Now most of mine are leather bound because I keep them. When I started, I had a black one for the negative and a yellow one because that's smiley face happy, right? And then I go back and I read them, or you keep the positive and you keep it right here on your desk. So when I come in and I sit down and I'm like, I feel grateful because I have a job. I feel grateful because Sally got, copies for me yesterday or got coffee for me or whatever. And so I look at it and it helps remind me I feel grateful because.
So you just keep the happy journal. The
Yeah,
other one, you
just keep
tear
the
out the
happy.
pages and
Yep. Burn
destroy it in
them.
some way.
I love to burn.
Yeah.
That's my
little pyro streak there.
I was in the Army. Part of the reason was because I got to blow things up.
Oh, fun. Pew, pew.
So in fact, my new book starts with me in basic training. Great story. I've never told it. And so it's a new story. In fact, my writer's coach, she just loves that story. She's like, tell that story. Like, no, it's in the book.
So you'll have to buy the book to read it. Right. And you'll have to buy the book and wait like a year to read it.
I know.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be sooner, but I don't want to tell them 6 months and then, so hang with me. Definitely trainings. I do tell the stories in trainings. Some of them, not all of them, but it's a phenomenal book. I feel very blessed to have been able to live the life I've lived. So I have the tools that I can give to people.
Cool. Well, Jeanie, we have just a couple of minutes left, and it's easy to come up with, there's lots of sad songs, there's lots of angry songs out there, but you mentioned your gratitude playlist. So can you share with us just a few of your favorite gratitude songs?
Okay, so first of all, K-Love.
K-Love?
K-Love is full of Christian happy songs. Go to K-Love.
Okay.
And if they go download my book, send me a comment that says, I want a link to your happy playlist. And that'll be an extra bonus. But I'm going to give some of them to you right now. So I'm pulling it up right now because I don't know all of them. And so some of my favorites, I love the movie Greatest Showman. Have you seen that movie? Great playlist. Get that playlist. I play it over and over and over. That whole album is on my happy playlist. So Greatest Showman soundtrack, absolutely incredible. I also like, oops, I just closed it. I also like, come on, I know we're out of time frame.
Oh, that's okay. We can edit it out.
So, but that's a great one. The Greatest Showman. Another one that I really like is a movie you may not have heard of, but it is called The Ultimate Gift. And it is just phenomenal. The lyrics to those songs are, beautiful, beautiful. I have quite a few on here by Fall Out Boy, Immortals, Centuries, Hall of Fame. That was by The Script. Love that one. Move Like a Soldier. That's one of my favorite as well. But the Mercy Me, one of my favorite singers. Love that group. And Jeanie has an album, their greatest hits. Let's see, what was it? It was their
Don't Stop Believin'.
Oh, yes, of course.
I love that one.
Have that one, right? Yep, see, right there on my playlist. And then Katy Perry, Roar. Love that song.
Ooh.
So Fight Song by Rachel Platten.
Oh, I also love that song, yeah.
Yep. And I'm an Elvis Presley fan. Love Elvis Presley. One of his littler known songs, If I Can Dream. Love that one. So anyways, I could go on and on forever.
Cool. And so have you created that playlist yet? Or are you going to post it one day?
It's just mine. And so
on your website, have you created like a list of it for people to share?
I haven't. I will make a note. I didn't even think of that. And
if there was a comment area, maybe people could comment with their
Well, I think that's a great idea.
Gratitude
This is a
songs.
song that I listen to when I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. So I think you're going to be seeing a social media post from me in a little bit that says, hey, comment, what's your favorite song? What do you use to get you through a tough time? Or what do you use to celebrate? If you spent any time with me at all, you know that we do the Snoopy dance to celebrate. So, of course, that's on here as well, my little celebration Snoopy dance. Yes. So I think that's a great idea. We could do that and share that and then collect songs and let's inspire and help each other.
Awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Thank you so much. I'm like so burned out from all the stress going on. And but just having this conversation with you and you sharing your light and talking about all these great songs and the Write and Burn and all of it is brightened my day. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanie. And thank you for being with us and spending this hour with us. I want to send you so much love and hugs to heal ourselves.
Yes.
Thank you. Be well.
I am receiving.
I
am receiving.
Yay. Namaste.
Oh, thank you. Namaste.
Yay, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you. And I really like the idea of the playlist. I just have to talk to my team and figure out how to do that. We may do it on Facebook or, my YouTube channel, something. We'll figure out. But I think that's a really good idea. Really good idea. And then we can just have people comment and add in more songs. And let's just build some positive playlists. I love K-Love because that's what their music is.
Cool. I'm going to look them up. I haven't heard of them before. So they're the Christian rock band.
It's a radio station.
Oh,
and so they have tons, and it's all across the country, and they have tons of just Christian music that uplifts, inspires, and I love it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jeanie. Well, I'll let you get on with your day. What are you going to do after this?
So I'm gonna go get my nails done at 4.
Oh, they look so nice already.
I know. And then I'm gonna go for a walk with my daughter, and because it's warmer in the afternoon. We used to go every morning when she works Graves, and so she would get off work and we would go for a walk about 7:30. But now it's like 12 degrees at 7:30, and I don't do 12 degrees. So we're gonna go for a walk, just kind of hang out. My husband and I are gonna go on a date tonight. We don't usually go on Friday night just because it's so busy.
How did you meet a guy who helps you with your emotions? Because usually it's the other way around.
Right. I know, right? So I met him online. I did the Match.com thing. And our first date, we went to a movie called John Q. And I don't know if you've seen the movie or not. It's with Denzel Washington. And his little boy has a heart problem, and so he takes this hospital hostage, and he wants to give his heart to his little boy. And I mean, very emotional movie, right? And I'm just sitting there watching the movie, and I look over at my husband. Well, at that time, I just met him. He had tears running down his face, and I immediately went into cognitive dissonance because I had been raised, you don't cry, you don't show emotion. But I really liked this guy, so I'm in this cognitive dissonance of, he's a wimp, what's wrong with him? But I really like him, right? And so luckily we had met online and talked about so much before we ever met in person. And so he's just one of the most incredible men I've ever met. The way he loves me is incredible. Now, I also have to give a caveat in that I've been divorced twice. So this is my third marriage. And so after my second divorce, I spent time figuring out who and what and where I was and what I needed. And then I ordered him up on Match.com. And I made the commitment to myself that I would not settle. That if he didn't have everything I needed and some of the wants, I would not settle.
That's a whole nother book, girl.
No.
You better get working on it because we need to read it, okay?
And so, yeah, but I got divorced a second time, and the likelihood of our marriage working is like 1.0%.
Wow.
It's like 0.01%. I mean, it's like crazy because he's been divorced twice and I've been divorced twice. But what I did was I got very clear on what I wanted, what I needed, and I chose not to settle. And it's a really cool story. I'll have to come back on the show and tell you the whole story.
Yes. Do
We'll
I
do
have
a dating show.
do I have your permission to post this post interview chat on YouTube?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And then let me know when you do, and I'll link it to my YouTube channel as well.
Awesome. All right. I'll let you
Love
get
to.
on with your day so you can go for a walk. But yeah, let's catch up again soon.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you so
care.
much.
Bye,
All right. You
Jeanie.
take care too.
You too.
Bye-bye.